Hi everyone, Brett back out the tooth scale modeling with another sprue review, this time a little bit of armor. Something some of us have been looking forward to. A MRAP all-terrain vehicle with full interior, full engine, full everything. Those of us who like to build engines and stuff, as you know from the engine from my Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, I like detailing and building engines. This is gonna be fun for skilled modelers ages 14 and above, because I know that matters to some people, maybe the government. My box was damaged in transit. I'd be sad, but I have another one. Kit number 5032, full interior kit, 1/35 scale. There are pictures of the finished model, I'm thinking. Maybe CAD, maybe finished model. Computers are so good these days, it's hard to say. But look here, you can see some good engine color and engine detail. Here, a couple of paint call-outs. In there, a rammed full box. A box that is full. PE 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 sprues, some bodywork, some tires. Let's start here. Crinkly plastic. Some people say, why don't you take them out of the plastic first? Because that destroys all the fun of it. Nice bolt rivet detail, nice and crisp. No panel lines like you might see on some car bodies. A few little ejector pin marks. Here, 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 here. Nothing too bad. Should be able to clean those up without too much damage to this wonderful interior detail where the gun turret goes. And by all these things here, you're going to be mounting a bunch of stuff in there anyway, so you may not even see that roof. And the front end, hood, bonnet part that you open to see the engine. Now, under here, again, a couple of ejector pin marks. These are almost barely visible. The ones inside the fender wells are a lot more visible. So, nicely detailed hood, bonnet, part you open to see the engine. There, you can see, barely here, one there, one there, one there, one there. These here are much more pronounced. But again, a little cleanup, a little work, using our modeling skills. More of the body work. I do like resealable bags, but sometimes they're sealed so well you can't find the opening. Alright. No flash. Very crisp. Molded very well. Maybe the tiniest amount of flash right here on the ends of these. Maybe the slightest amount of burring, but look at the detail. I'm sure it's the engine bay. And it's probably the underneath part. It's rounded to diffuse any mines they might run over. The exhaust with a nice hollowed out end. These fender wells do not have ejector pin marks on the inside. Nice touch. See all these really detailed parts. Underneath here, I don't know if these are ejector pin marks you're supposed to cut off or not. these are like, you know, this type of big fat ejector pins that they just cut off at the end. But we'll find out. Nice sprue. So it's got turret parts, ammunition, doors, gun placement. There's your shells, bunch of grab handles, turning knobs. You have to be careful with this. Like this one here is kind of a little bent. Looks like the steering column. There's a ammo box that's open. Again, inside of here, inside of these, no ejector pin marks. None. So in some of it, they are really taking a good time and effort to make sure. There's tiny, tiny little details right there. Your ammo box open, steering column, there's some bullets. Ryefield model is stepping up the game for detail. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think they make one without all the interior detail engine parts. Your wipers, your armored glass framing, doors, hoses. Be real careful with this stuff. Be real careful putting it back in the bag. Again, inside the door, no ejector pin marks. I don't see a lot of burring on the hoses. I don't know whether you can see that, but the hose doesn't look too badly burred, none at all. Drop it and break it. I very finely see how small those hoses are. There's your wipers. Dash, instrument panel. Very thick armor for your armored glass. This is a little bent. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's not going to hurt anything. A little cement will straighten that right out. Here we have suspension parts, wheel hubs, looks like working springs, matching sprues, so we only need to get one up. Yes, compressible springs. I don't know how much I'd want to do that, but suspension parts, differentials, wheel hubs, A-frame arms, looks like some tanks, tow hooks. Again, tiny, tiny little details. Is it too much? That's up to the individual modeler. Check out those springs, hollowed all the way around. Depends how much detail and work you want to put into them. I think these are seats and seat backs here, but I could be wrong. And the frame, the bottom of the floor, bunch of frame rails, drive shafts. There's your instrument panel right there. Dashboard. I was just looking at a plane. The plane, it's an instrument panel. On a vehicle, it's a dashboard. Alright, frame. Looks pretty straight. and pretty detailed. Check it out. And then the parts that go in the frame. And there's the top half of the steering column. We saw the bottom half on the other part. You can see it's just half. Transfer case, axles. There's the floor with some anti-skid texture. A-frames for your suspension. There are ejector pin marks inside the frame rails, but you're not going to see those anyway. And you can always clean them up. Molded with the right angle. The correct angle, not right angle. Can't find the engine yet. I found the engine. I love me detailing an engine. There's the oil pan, the fan, some hoses, some plumbing, pumps, air compressor. There's an air horn, which is nicely hollowed out. There's your belts and pulleys, which are going to be very delicate. Be careful when removing those. Cylinder heads, water pump. There's your main drive shaft. It does have a big seam line down it that'll need cleaned up. That on your differential, cooling vents. See the detail on. By itself, this engine's highly detailed. Steering linkage or transfer case drive shaft. Not sure. But anyway, you'll need to look at some reference shots to see where the wiring goes. Hook up a distributor. I happen to have some distributors from Morgan Automotive Distributors. I use those for my cars. I bet I could use one for here depending on the style. Alright. Gun. Ammo boxes. Fuel tanks. Whoa. There's your gun. There's your cooling jacket. You can see through. You can see slide molded barrel, slide molded cooling jacket. Nice. One water, one fuel. Both same on there. Water and fuel. Maybe this will help. I'm loving how that gun looks. Oh, look at this. Textured as well. Sweet. And this is the last of the colored sprues, which have a couple more guns, fire extinguisher, some shocks it looks like. Fire extinguisher, looks like a heads-up display. Some AR-15s maybe. Nice hosing. See that? Be careful. Steering wheel. There's those guns. Those of you who play Call of Duty will recognize those guns. Very nice. And I know some of you are dying to see tires in a Ziploc bag. So 5, because you need a spare. There is no seam line. There is writing. They do say, do they say Michelin or Michelin? I think they say Michelin. But C could be confused for a G. But it's got your tire pressures and tire size on there. Both sides. No center seam. Flexible, hollow. Some of you will like them, some of you won't. I like them. Here we have Sprue K and your decals. Your instruments, no steps, tie downs, unit markings, warnings. Printed in China. This is a flexible, oh, they're mud flaps. Look at there. Oshkosh. Mud flaps, splash guards. That's pretty cool. They didn't leave out any detail, did they? Alright. Photo etch, which isn't coming out of the package, I don't want to bent. So we've got some engine detail, some venting detail, some boxes, some rails. There, again, mud flaps. I almost say those are wiring looms, but I don't think so, because there's no wiring. You had your, that could have been your distributor wiring on that one. This would be your engine harnesses, so I'm going to have to use them. I'm going to have to use my distributors. Clear parts, all flat, all clear, all good, even through the bag. You can see how beautifully clear they are, even through the crystal clear bag. Okay, instruction book. And an error correction of the instructions. So step 4, step 7, step 14, step A9, 17, B3, 21. So there's 8 corrections. Pay attention. Maybe go through your book and circle. There's your warnings. Here's your nice color book, sprue maps, photo etch. They're calling it a hull, not a body. Looks like you're starting with the drivetrain. And suspension. And there's the winch. And for US version only, I guess you decide which one you do. There's a different version for each. And step 2 is putting the frame and the driveline together. Okay, now the first one that's wrong is step 4. So here's step 3, putting more of the drivetrain together onto the frame. Step 4, I'm just not going to go through all these, but so what's wrong is, that says C28, but it should say C29. So, not a major thing, but they did catch it and send a correction sheet along. Very nice. Here's your step to get in the back, stowed or open. Your springs that I showed you were workable. Finishing up the frame, the shocks, starting on the engine. More of the engine, the block, the transmission, valve covers, radiator, putting the engine in if you put the fan on. Takes a lot to get this whole, just the frame, the suspension, and all that put together. For US version only, keep that in mind again. There's a skid plate right there. So, step 10 here, and then for US version only is here. Apparently there's a non-US version of this kit. Again, for US version only, putting that in. Here is how you're plumbing your engine with all your hoses and how it should look when you're done. I like how they did that color enhancement. This, you're putting the hubs on, then the tires over the hubs. Make it easy for painting that way. And you're starting on interior parts, seats, instrument panel, dash, the engine side of it, and then the driver's side of it. Putting it in onto the floorboard along with the back panel. And then there's your turret, your gun placement. That thing that I said was the instrument panel, the dashboard, is actually part of your gun system. Putting your doors together, your mirrors. Didn't realize, but you got those big mirrors on there. Again, US version only. US version only. Pay attention. Maybe go through the marker and circle. You can do the doors open. Here is whatever part that is. It looks like the hinge mechanism for the door. Anyway, you can do your doors open. You can do your doors closed. There's some more of your PE parts. Do not assemble for US version. Cut out from Sprue C. Do not assemble for it. So pay attention to all this stuff. And then you got your interior going onto your frame. And then you've got your hull, as they're calling it, going over your interior. There's your wheel wells that we talked about with no ejector pins. I think this might be for the spare tire, or maybe it's just a step. Or just a toolbox going over the top of your wheel wells. Again, some more for US version only. They highlighted in green, which makes it stand out nicely. So there's your back deck going on. Here's your underneath we talked about that's curved for diffusing explosions. Another for US version. You're up to step 30. There's your exhaust pipes. Some more protective parts. There's your gun going into your turret, I guess. There's your open ammo box. There's those bullets that were separate. You're building all around the framing for your gun. This is your hood bonnet engine opening part. There's your grills that are photo etched going in. So you can have it open, you can have it closed. I don't know if you can have it movable. Spare tire, jack, all the antennas. I'm not sure what that mount is for. That's a towing mount. Cool. And you're done. This is what it should look like when you're done. Painting it and everything. The engine is kind of a yellowish color. There's your painting call out right there. And it's all ammo and MIG paint colors. But it says what color it is, so you can move on. This is a US Army. This is a Polish Special Forces. That's why you've got US version and non-US version. I wonder if these tow hooks are on here, so if the doors are jammed, you can just hook up something and yank them open. And there's your painting guide for that one. There you have it. So much detail. So good looking. I think I need to build one of these soon. So, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative. I hope it's something that interests you. Or you may look at it and go, oh, that's too much detail. I want the undetailed version. I know there is one. I'm just not sure if it's Ryefield. Thanks for watching. Sit your ass at your bench. Build a kit. Any kit. Could be anything you want. Just build it and build it for you. Bye for now.